William Penn, high above City Hall, surveying the city of brotherly love. Penn's Landing on the busy Delaware River. Veterans Stadium, where the Phillies play baseball and the Eagles play football. Behind it, Dr. J's favorite playground, the Spectrum. And behind that, JFK Stadium, where many Army-Navy games have been played. The Museum of Fine Arts, where Sylvester Stallone ran up and down those steps in the movie Rocky, memorialized here at the entrance to the Spectrum, where today there's no 76er basketball and no flyer hockey. Instead, it's championship tennis. As Volvo Tennis presents semifinal round action from the $300,000 Ebel U.S. Pro Indoor Tennis Championships. Today, it's all-time great Jimmy Connors against a young 20-year-old upstart from Czechoslovakia, Miloslav Mecir. This program is made possible by grants from Transamerica Corporation, insurance, finance, manufacturing, transportation, innovation. By Peugeot. By the investment executives at Payne Weber. By Volvo of America. And by Ebel USA, the architects of time, the official watch of the Davis Cup.
Good afternoon, tennis fans. I'm Donald Dell, and we're here in the city of brotherly love at the Spectrum. And this afternoon we have quite an interesting matchup. The old and the new. The old Jimmy Connors, four-time winner here, goes against Miloslav Mecir, the young 20-year-old Czechoslovakian. It's the first time he's been on national television in America. He's had a great week. And joining me in the booth is my good friend and colleague, Stan Smith. Stan Smith, of course, the Wimbledon champion in 1972, the U.S. Open champion in 1971. How does it feel, Stan, to be sitting up here now as the commentator watching these guys battle?
Well, it's nice to see that Jimmy Connors is an old player, but we've got a very exciting young player out here today. He's another great Czechoslovakian, 20 years old. He's a very natural athlete. He can hit the ball from any place on the court. He's very strong. He's not going to get tired out there. He's got a good backhand, but he's an unusual guy. He likes to fish. He didn't practice too much before his matches this week. It's sort of an odd quirk that he has of not really going out there and warming up too much, but he started off very fast in all those matches, and so it could be a very interesting match today because he's very talented.
Well, Barry McKay, who's joining us at courtside today for these matches, met with Miloslav Mecir earlier today. Let's go down and hear that interview. Barry?
Miloslav, you've had a great week. Tell us where you come from in Czechoslovakia.
I'm coming from small city from Prievidza.
And what about the game? It seems like you've appeared out of nowhere. What have you been doing back in Czechoslovakia over the last year and a half to make such improvement?
I played many tournaments out of Czechoslovakia also, and also inside the Czechoslovakia, and I think I played a lot of good matches. That's why.
What do you think is the biggest strength in your game right now?
I don't know. Ask my opponent.
How about your opponent? What do you think about going up against Jimmy Connors today?
I don't know. I will try my best.
Is it a difficult task to play Jimmy? I mean, knowing how he plays?
I was watching him on TV many times, and I think every hit he hit is very dangerous.
How come there are so many good players from Czechoslovakia these days, Miloslav?
I think it's because we have many competitions during for the players' young ages.
All right, Miloslav, good luck.
Thank you.
And there you have it. We've just met that youngster from Czechoslovakia. A little nervous, not quite relaxed yet, but a heck of a young tennis player that you're going to see in just a moment. And of course, Jimmy Connors is quite a champion in his own right. Barry McKay, your thoughts?
Well, Donald, Jimmy's very comfortable. He's warming up a couple feet away from me down here. One thing, though, he's had a couple tough matches. He had a tiebreaker against Stefan Edberg earlier this week, and he had a tiebreaker against Mel Purcell yesterday. So he has had to really work hard to get into the semifinal. One thing about Jimmy, though, when he plays against a player who isn't real experienced, he's going to go into net a lot more. I feel he's going to probably take a lot of chances and go in, and you're going to see him volleying a lot more today than he normally does. But I think he's obviously the strong favorite. I'm looking forward to this match. This big, tall guy looks kind of interesting out here. Back to you, Donald.
Jimmy Connors, Barry McKay, likes to play the young upstarts because he likes to believe he's got the experience, and he tries to jump on top of him quickly. Stan, I think he'll try to start very fast to try to crunch him and not let him get confidence.
Well, it really is a confidence factor. If Miloslav cannot start off quickly. He might get very discouraged because he doesn't have much experience in these big matches.
All right, we're going down to the center court. Jimmy Connors, the champion here 4 times, about to serve in the near court.
Jimmy Connors to serve. Ready? Play.
First point of the match. The stadium here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia is slowly filling up for the afternoon play. We're live nationwide on many of your public service stations. And Connors slips into net on the opening point.
15 love.
Jimmy has been trying to come to the net a little bit more in the last couple of years, and so I think he may try to do this today against a young, inexperienced player.
Good return of serve there by the two-handed check. Connors trying the loop and misses, and we're at 15 all.
.30-15.
And that ball's called good from the baseline.
30 all.
We're at 30 all.
You'll see a great shot here. Mecir is really moving Jimmy around, and that ball is inside the baseline.
We're at 30 all. First game of the match. Ebell U.S. Pro Indoor Championships.
30-40.
It's the 24th year that Ed and Marilyn Fernberger have run this tournament as the tournament chairpersons, and we congratulate them on another great field. And we'll be bringing you the semifinals today and the finals tomorrow, live public service television stations. Connors slices that left-handed serve that is so effective in the ad court, excuse me. Stan, why does a left-hander have a little bit of an advantage on that left-handed serve?
Well, they can get that serve so wide on that ad point. It's the ad point, it's the big point of each game, and the lefties have a big edge there.
Advantage Connors.
You know, I played Jimmy and watched him play quite a bit over the last 10 or 15 years, and many times when he gets down break point, he's been staying back the whole game. He'll sneak in on his first serve, which he did there, but he had such a good serve, it didn't really matter.
Here is the chair umpire, Zeno Foul. Connors again with that slice, and the return is wide, and Jimmy Connors has held serve in the opening game of the match. 1-love.
He wins the first game.
Let's take a look now on the draw this week. Connors, of course, seated number 2 here behind John McEnroe. Jimmy Connors defeated Leif Shiras 6-2, 6-4 in that opening match. And then into the quarterfinals, in the second match, he had to beat the very good young Swede, Stefan Edberg, who's got a big serve and volley game. He beat him 7-6, 6-2, but that was a tough match. He was down 3-love in that tiebreaker in that first set. Then he came on strong last night and beat an old friend and practice partner, Mel Purcell from Kentucky, 6-4, 7-6, and again, Connors dominating the tiebreaker 7-3. So Connors has not lost a set into the semifinals.
Well, Miloslav got to the semifinals here. He defeated Terry Toulon in the first match. Had a very tough match against Nystrom. He upset
please, ladies and
Nystrom here, and then went on to beat
seat at the next
Krishnan and then Suarez to get to the semifinals.
Miloslav Mecir to serve. Hold, please. Thank you. Seats quickly, please. Any seat. Thank you.
Dave Zinkoff, he's been here for many, many years at the Spectrum, familiar to every fan in their seats today.
Love.
Miloslav is very steady off the ground. He's got a little bit better backhand than forehand. It's a very good athlete. He can move and twist and turn. Probably would have been a good gymnast.
We said at the start of the show that Jimmy Connors likes to get off to a fast start against a young up-and-coming player. Doesn't like him to gain any confidence. And notice, Stan, how Connors is really concentrating on the two-handed backhand side of the young Czech. That surprises me a little bit. I've not watched Miloslav play much, so I can't comment. But normally you think of a two-handed backhand as your strength. Connors is playing to it.
Well, that's true. He likes to hit it cross-court with that forehand. It's a little safer shot.
And he sprays it wide again.
15-30.
15-30. A very nervous 20-year-old. New face in the game. Very popular guy from Presidia, Czechoslovakia. Miloslav Mecir.
Donald, he really looks tight out there. He doesn't seem to be moving too well yet, and does look very nervous. Good shot.
And there is his best shot of the match to date.
30-14.
You're going to see a good example of not hitting the ball deep. He hit this ball short, this backhand winner that he hits down the line, and Jimmy's way out of position. If he'd hit it deeper, Jimmy might have gotten to it.
Ball a little wide.
Deuce.
And we're at deuce.
These are important points here early in the match, because if Miloslav loses this game and loses the next game to be down 3-love, he's really going to be down in confidence.
First serve.
Fault called. Out called by Alan Quay on the far line.
Mecir.
Jimmy gives him a look, questioning the call.
Stan and Donald, from down here, I'm about 20 feet away from Miroslav. He really doesn't put a lot of power into that first serve, Stan. I'm surprised with that height that he doesn't hit the thing a little bit harder. He's just spinning that ball in.
He's just getting into play. He's going to hit a lot of ground strokes when he's serving, so he's not going to have such an edge that he should with that height.
And he sprays the forehand wide for another deuce. Barry McKay, how fast is that court playing?
It's about like the one at the Garden a couple weeks ago, Donald. It's a standard Supreme Court. The ball's bouncing up nice and high. It's right over the cement here, which they lay the ice on at the Spectrum. So it's about a medium pace, good solid court. It's not that fast.
And we're at deuce. Second game, Connors held for the first game.
Ball was up.
Lois Higgins makes the call
Advantage
on the far
Mecir.
sidelines. Connors didn't agree with it. Zeno found the chair, said the out call was correct.
Miloslav is not hitting the ball very hard. He's just caressing those ground strokes, but he's keeping them deep, and that's the important thing.
Deuce.
You don't get the feeling.
Please,
though,
ladies
Stan,
and gentlemen, no flash pictures while play is in progress. It's very distracting. Thank you.
You don't get the feeling, though, with his pace that he's going to be able to hurt Connors from that baseline. Jimmy's going to rally a lot and get a lot of work out and then try to come in.
All he's doing is moving Jimmy around. That's about all. He's not blowing him off the court. But maybe he'll pick up the pace as he gets more confidence.
Let cord. Connors got it. Good deep shot off that let cord.
Advantage Connors.
Jimmy gets a very quick start here. He's up there, very aggressive. Is close enough to hit a very aggressive forehand deep, and of course, Miloslav can't handle it.
Deuce.
Miloslav is only 20 years old, but he's a very smart player. He's very bright in mathematics, and he probably has a good feel for the game. That experience will help him as he goes along.
Long second game. 6 deuces.
Advantage Mecir.
Miloslav is moving Jimmy around, just waiting for errors off of Jimmy's racket.
Again, Connors, when he can swing him wide with that forehand cross court.
Deuce.
Miloslav does not move too well to his left, I don't believe. A little slow on that movement.
The good two-handers in the game today really move well to that backhand, and Miloslav has to move a little bit better. He's going to be in trouble being pulled wide.
They really got to get there early, don't they? Because the reach isn't as good on the two-handed, and they got to plant their feet to make that follow-through on the swing. So the footwork is everything for a two-handed backhand. It's good.
Great shot.
Oh.
Advantage Connors.
Jimmy can really bend for the low shots. I think that's one of the great attributes of his game. He can really bend for those low backhands particularly.
The young Czech there, 20 years old, from Czechoslovakia. Never played on American television before. Never reached the semifinals of a Grand Prix tournament. And here is the old-timer Connors, born in 1952.
Okay, the first venture to the net by Miloslav is here, and he's successful with it.
Jimmy's a little disgusted over there, Stan. This is coming up the 9th deuce in this game.
Jimmy could really control the match if he gets an early lead here. Great shot.
Advantage Connors.
Not many easy points for Miloslav on his serve.
Another break point for Connors. Let's see if he tries to come in at all. Let cord.
Good shot. Good approach shot. Jimmy's there.
It's good. Oh. Unusual play there. Connors with a high lob backed him up, but did not come in behind it, and he missed the follow-up forehand.
Miloslav really hits that off forehand very well. He really gets some good angle with that forehand.
Barry McKay at courtside.
Donald, the beauty of this court down here is you've got about an extra 20 feet behind where those lines people are standing, and Connors was way back there that time. You can hit a ball from maybe 30, 40 feet back. The Spectrum gives you a lot of extra running. There you see it right there on your screen. A lot of room back there, so we're going to see some good gets.
Barry made a good point there. He won the Italian championships on that Rome court, which has the biggest running back behind the baseline of any court in the world, and he knows what it's all about. You can't hit an overhead away against a very quick player because they can run it down and go over the stands and do anything back there.
Game Mecir.
And lo and behold, the young Czech held serve. And we're 1-1 first set. What a long second game, Stan. That would be good for Miloslav, though. I think he'll get a little more relaxed after a lot of those points.
That'll knock the nerves out of him. He'll be a little tired at least.
Sort of surprised that Connors is laying back so much. He doesn't seem to be attacking at all, although he's being moved around a lot.
He is being moved around. Mecir is in a lot of angles, and he's keeping the ball very deep, so Jimmy can attack. Be interesting to know what his game plan was to go against Connors. I have a feeling it was just to keep the ball deep and try to get Jimmy to miss.
Love 30.
Connors now in trouble. Love 30. Third game into the match. We're at 1-1 from the Spectrum, the Bell U.S. Pro Indoor Championships. The Bell, of course, is the official watch and sponsor of the Davis Cup competition worldwide, so they're very well known in tennis.
Love 40.
Tonight's semifinal will be John McEnroe, the defending champion, against the youngster Scott Davis, both from Stanford. And we'll have the winners tomorrow in the final. Connors down 3 break points. Swings him wide for 1.
15-40.
Jimmy really got that serve out wide. That's amazing what he can do against a two-handed backhand. It's a big chance for Miloslav.
Connors there comes into net on that short return. That's the second time he's come in, Stan, the whole match.
30-40.
You'll see a good forehand approach shot by Jimmy. Watch him get down low for this. He hits that forehand in good position. Then he gets it a very good position at the net. Even if Miloslav got it back, Jimmy would knock the volley out. Here it comes again. He's got him now.
Let court, and it doesn't drop over, so Connors has lost serve. And that's a surprise to lose the serve in the second game here of his serve. Watch it again on replay.
Jimmy comes in with a very good backhand approach. He's in good position. Miloslav hits a low shot, and now he's got Jimmy where he wants him. Almost over. Stays on Jimmy's side.
And Stan Smith, we've had discussions, Barry McKay and I, over the years about a tight net and a soft net. And you saw there, I think, the tightness of this net. When you're playing, when it's a really tight, taut net, they don't seem to roll over. They seem to hit, hang, and drop back.
Well, that's true. I played with a net in high school. It's a metal net. I hit a serve one time, and it bounced over the back fence. It was so tight.
Don't you think, Stan, it's tough to pull nets indoors? You have that temporary setup down there, and it's really difficult to make that thing as tight as you can in an outdoor situation, and it does affect the play a lot of times.
It's a big factor when they have that pull along the net on the bottom to try to keep the net post as tight as possible, but still the net is not going to be as tight as it would be outdoors.
And we're going to have the ATP computer rankings as of last week. John McEnroe, of course, number 1, 176. Jimmy Connors, 2. Ivan Lendl, Mats Wilander, the big 4. Number 5, Andres Gomez. Anders Yared at 6. And Sundstrom, his pal and double Davis Cup partner. Pat Cash of Australia, 8. Elliot Telcher, Yannick Noah back and well again. Joachim Nystrom at 11, and Aaron Krickstein, the 17-year-old, at 12. And Stan, we'll talk about those ATP computer rankings in a moment.
He's there.
Stan Smith, you're a board member of the ATP. You've been a vice president.
15.
Tell us about these computer rankings after this replay.
Okay, Jimmy really puts in a very tough approach shot. Miloslav is there, though. He's there on this forehand and just about makes it.
Back live. And the Czech has the opening break, 2-1. But a double fault
30.
puts him into love 30. The ATP computer rankings.
Well, the rankings are very important to the players. They are more concerned about their ranking than they are about the prize money, because it determines their seedings in tournaments, and also for the lower ranked players whether they get into tournaments or not. So it's of vital importance to the players, and they also get bonuses in their contracts according to the rankings at the end of the year.
Look at Connors run that down, and Miloslav was right there with the volley. Connors didn't like the service call, but watch it again.
Seeing Jimmy now,
30.
Miloslav comes in with a little approach shot. Great backhand, very deep. Jimmy's there, I don't know how. And Miloslav is there, I don't know how, but a great cross-court volley.
Barry McKay, Jimmy Connors had a little altercation there with...
Yeah, he did, Don. He came straight over to Zeno Fowl right in front of me and said, what's going on here? Waiting for Zeno to overrule on that particular service call. He didn't. Jimmy just kind of grabbed his nose as if to say that kind of stinks.
We're at 30 all. Miloslav is 61st on the ATP computer.
Ooh, there's some power.
Ooh, finally, he really unleashed that backhand. He drills it.
30 all.
We're going to see a backhand here. Watch this one. Miloslav sets up and cranks. Clean winner down the line. Jimmy said, where did that come from? I think Miloslav is getting loosened up here.
30 all.
Great shot. Miloslav is there. Let cord winner.
That's a little unlucky there. You know, Connors was waiting for that volley down the line, and the left cord had skipped over.
He was there, but Miloslav sets us up with a very clever low cross-court backhand. Jimmy, you're just lucky to get that shot over there. But you're right. A little bit of luck on that left cord helps.
It's tough to read it when it's skipping over the net.
Another left cord.
One thing that surprises me, the court does look very slow when they get in these rallies. While the ball's staying a little lower than usual, although there's a cement underbase stand, the bounce is slow.
Well, with topspin, the ball bounces a little bit slower, but if they slice it or hit it flat, the ball will stay lower and faster.
Connors bangs the
Advantage,
return.
Mecir.
He mishits it, trying to come in behind it.
We're talking about the officials and Jimmy asking for that overrule. I just talked to the officials coming out here today, and this year they've ordered the officials to be even stronger about not overruling unless they're absolutely positive.
Well, Stan, as we've said many times, I think that's the right decision. There should be no overrule except in a gigantic clear error.
Game Mecir.
And that ball was right on the line. No clear error there, and the linesman made the right call, Alan Quay.
He leads
Look at
3-1.
this down the line.
Look at that ball. Looked like it had eyes.
Great camera work by our crew here in the Spectrum. We thank Prism for their help. But that was a beautiful line. Connors now trails 1-3.
15 love.
He's got to be thinking, who is this guy?
Miloslav has really impressed me now. He's changing pace. He's using the angle. He's hitting the ball deep. He's even coming in a little bit.
And he's clearly not nervous.
Not now.
Because that's the way we've been doing it all week, Mr. Connors.
Connors asking why the linesman behind him is calling the ball at the other end of the court.
Second serve.
Jimmy clearly frustrated, irritated, because he isn't having this guy roll over, if you want to know the truth.
Sure. That's exactly right.
And Miloslav is hanging in there.
Here comes a drop shot.
Connors with a smart little underspin. He got away with it. Watch it again, Stan.
30 love.
Okay, Jimmy sets up to hit a backhand down the line, but then he drop shots. And he also comes in. A clever play, an experienced player. Miloslav had really no place to go.
$30-15. $40-15.
Connors swings him wide. He's at 40-15. Jimmy Connors sprays it. I want to welcome our viewers on the Sports Network in
40-30.
Canada. They're going to be watching this on the Pearl Network in Hong Kong. And, of course, Televisa in Mexico City will be bringing this match to the Mexican public. Vicente Zarazua, the old Davis Cup player and friend, will be the commentator down there. His best Spanish. Connors needs to hold right here.
He's there.
And does.
Game Connors.
And so Jimmy Connors gets out of a difficult situation, but he's still trailing 3-2.
Leads at 3-2.
One service breakdown in the first set. And we're going down to courtside, where Barry McKay is with Ed Fernberger, the tournament co-chairman. Ed has run this tournament many, many years successfully. And Barry McKay, come on in.
All right, Donald. Ed, you started with the top 4 players in the world, and we got Scott Davis and a fellow by the name of Mecir. What happened this week in Philadelphia?
I would say that there's an awful lot of players in the world today who are pretty nearly equal, and as is said in many sports, on a given day, anybody can do whatever to anybody.
Ed, you've been at this for 24 years. Certainly, you and Marilyn, the veterans of running tournaments. If you look back on all that time, what was a highlight, maybe over those periods of times in your career here at the Spectrum?
I think the real highlight, well, several. For one thing, moving into the Spectrum. We were one of the 3 original tenants.
Seats quickly, please, ladies and gentlemen.
And another was the beginning of open tennis, which really opened up the era of big-time tennis, where the great players all came together and tennis really became a great sport.
Ed, what about tomorrow? If you had to pick a dream match, obviously it would probably be Connors and McEnroe, and yet this kid seems to be playing pretty well.
He certainly does seem to be playing pretty well, and let's hope it's Connors and McEnroe.
All right, Ed, thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Back up to you, Donald.
Well, Barry McKay, there is an unbiased open tournament director saying he wants a McEnroe-Connors final. Can't understand that. You as a tournament promoter can, however. 2-3. First set. I'll tell you what, Stan, I think Jimmy Connors better start attacking here before he's lulled to sleep on that baseline and loses the first set.
Well, I think one thing he knows is that Miloslav is not going to knock him off the court with a serve. So every time Miloslav serves, Jimmy has a chance to break. He's not facing a John McEnroe or Ivan Lendl type serve where he doesn't have a very good chance.
Awfully good forehand, rippling winner. He just
15-all.
looks so casual when he hits that winner.
He does look casual out there. That's the feeling you get. You'll see him being pulled wide, but he says, I'll give you a little more angle.
Good Lord, what a shot.
Another great shot. It's at the net.
Stan Smith, he's a sleeper. He's a good player on this court.
Well, he's a very talented player. He can hit a lot of shots, and now that he's got a chance in this match, I think he's going to be even more confident and give Jimmy all he wants.
I wish we had the great
30-all.
Czech star Ivan Lendl with us today, standing in the booth, because I'd love to really go into why and how they keep producing so many good players over there. I mean, guys like Thomas Schmid, Pavel Slozil, you know, the public doesn't even follow them that well. They're great players on the circuit.
They've got great consistency with a much smaller base of people to draw from, but they have a great program over there in Czechoslovakia. They study the players, and they take in films, and they do their homework.
Connors saves it with a lob. It's short. And there is the answer. And he knew it was short, and he knew he had a problem.
We're seeing that Miloslav is using the court very well. Corner to corner. Now he's got an opening. He topspin volleys. And of course, he shows he can play pretty well at the net too, Donald.
40-30 to the server. Miloslav Mecir.
Here he comes again.
It's short. Connors turned his back on that. He's angry at himself, and he conceded that point by turning his back in disgust.
He leads 4-2.
Miloslav hits a very good approach shot. Comes in. Jimmy has no chance. Gives him the back.
And Mecir is equal to that. Little effrontery. He hits the winner and leads 4-2. First set. Ebell U.S. Pro Indoor Championships. Connors trailing a service break. He won the tournament here in 76, 78, 79, and 80. And John McEnroe has won 3 years in a row since. And McEnroe will be playing in that semifinal match tonight against Stanford's Scott Davis. We mentioned a moment ago, Stan, about the Czech players and the men, but, you know, the women, what can you say about Martina and Hanna Mandlikova? I mean, they're the best in the world right now.
They really do have some awesome power over there. They develop their players. All their players are very strong. They're all in great shape.
Ball's on the line.
15-all.
Miloslav seems to be more relaxed now and going for more power and more winners. He's coming to the net more, too.
$15-30.
Jimmy's got to go into one more gear higher here. Good moving by both players.
$30-all.
Miloslav is getting some of his own medicine there from Jimmy Connors, corner to corner. Jimmy taking his time. It's one thing he does very effectively. Things get tight.
He paces himself well in a tight situation.
$40-30.
Jimmy trying to
serve.
jam Miloslav in that backhand. It's a good serve, jamming right at the body.
Deuce.
And we're at deuce. Stan Smith, what's wrong with Jimmy Connors?
Well, Jimmy has gone out here not really knowing too much about Miloslav. He thinks he's going to win the match if it really gets tight. And it's getting tight, so he's got to really concentrate much harder now. Great shot.
Just wide. This is a tough kind of match for a top seed to win.
Very tough. I mean, Miloslav is in a position where he has nothing to lose, that old position here, and you'll see him running. Jimmy gets him real wide with this, but Miloslav almost gets the right angle, miscuing by about a foot.
Stan, I see him taking a lot of easy positions way behind the baseline to receive Jimmy's serve, too. He's really given himself a lot of extra time. Missed very few returns of serve.
Game Connors.
Very steady player out there.
Connors gets out of a troublesome spot. He could have lost serve there and been down 5-2. Instead, he holds and trails only by one service break. 4 games to 3.
You better go this way. Swing in there, boys.
And here we are in the semifinals, the men's singles of the Ebel U.S. Pro Championships. And the server at the far end. Barry McKay, I can't help asking, I'd love you to ask Marshall, what is a clear mistake? Could he give us this lawyer-like definition? Sometime I'd love to have that question answered for all our viewers.
Well,
you might whisper to him one of these points and get a lawyer-like definition of what is meant by a clear mistake.
well, Ken Farrar is not a lawyer, but we'll sneak up on him and catch him one of these days, too.
Okay. Just wide.
Love 15.
Stan, you're a player. How do you feel about the overrule as a player?
Well, I agree with the overrule. The key to me for the overrule to be successful is that the umpires do not jump out there on a very close call, especially very far away from the chair. They've got to be very selective, and it's got to be, to me, 2 inches out before you get a real clear mistake.
Connors concentrating better. So you feel as a player it's good to have the old rule if there was a big error in judgment?
That's my personal opinion. A lot of the players disagree with me, but I think if you had the players intimidating all the linesmen instead of just the chair umpire, who's supposed to be very good, you'd have complete chaos.
But what about when these umpires have the linesmen come out and look at the marks, and we go through this consternation of what is a clear error over and over in our summer tournaments?
Well, that's a different issue.
Love 40.
Here's Zeno Fowl, the chair umpire. He's in control of this match and doing a good job. Very experienced, very knowledgeable.
The key for the players is consistency in the officiating. And if they see that, then they're not too dissatisfied. But if they see real changes in the definition of a clear mistake, then they get very nervous.
Now Connors has a break point here at Love 40. He has 3, and he missed moving for that one.
40.
Miloslav saves 1. 15-40.
Important points here. Jimmy is slowing down the play.
Boy, oh boy, he loses another one.
30-40.
In big situations, you see Jimmy playing with his racket or turning his back or just waiting a little bit longer to get his composure.
Game Connors.
Connors gets that break back, and he's at 4-all, and he can have a little sigh of relief. The crowd gave him a good hand, but he's delighted to be back even. As you said, Stan, you know, it's a terrible position for a top player. Everything to lose, nothing to gain when you play a guy 61 on the computer. There is the far linesman, Fred Lapon, with the hat.
15 love.
Well, Jimmy changed gears slightly. He knows he's in a tough match here. And that experience of being in this position before is really going to give him an edge if he can keep the pressure on Miloslav. What a return.
$15-all.
Miloslav looks kind of casual. All of a sudden, he bangs one. This one is a great angle inside the service line, cross court. You can really open up the court if you hit the ball short and cross court inside the service line, because your opponent will be way outside the baseline and the sideline hitting the next shot.
Guess what? Miloslav snuck in there. He's only 20 years of age. Very new on the circuit. Good play here.
He sets it up here. He snuck in a little bit later than normal, but was in perfect position for that volley.
Boy, he hit a great little angle in close. He seems comfortable at the net on that volley.
He really does.
15-30, Connors, knowing he better get down to business and hold.
Little TCB.
30-all.
I'll bite. As
Take care of business.
Bobby Lutz would say, what the devil is TCB? Where is Bobby Lutz, your old doubles partner, hanging out these days?
Bobby is doing aerobics and getting in great shape for the Grand Champion Circuit starting in a couple weeks in Palm Springs.
You got to be kidding. Aerobics and Lutz?
Lutz and his wife out there doing aerobics.
Never believe that story.
40-30.
Our old pal Bud Collins, of course, many years with us, is working the women's tour this weekend down at Marco Island, Florida. Connors, second serve. We're at 4-all, first set.
Great forehand winner.
You know, I think Jimmy has trouble reading which side that guy's going to play to.
I think
that guy being Miloslav, excuse me, but he disguises that so well. He didn't move well for that shot at all.
he really didn't. He's got a very difficult forehand to read. It's sort of an open forehand here. He's that off forehand, which they call down the line forehand, extremely effectively. Ooh.
Advantage Connors.
I think this is an important game because if Jimmy doesn't hold, he might lose the first set. If he does hold, I think he's going to break the next game.
We're at 4-all, first set. Best 2 out of 3 set match. Finals tomorrow is best of 5.
Game Connors.
Connors slides that left-handed hook wide. That's his best serve in the ad court. The lefty has a real advantage, and he holds
5-4. Change balls.
for 5-4, and we're going to have new balls next time around.
You know, Barry interviewed Miloslav about, before the match, and he says he doesn't say too much, but you got to realize that he's speaking in a tongue that's not very natural to him. And I think if he understands English a little bit better, he'll be a little bit better to interview later on after the match.
On our screen is the Philadelphia Art Museum.
Historical monuments.
Let's see what Jimmy Connors does as he comes out. We've had a lines person change after 9 games. We have a whole new crew out there on the court. This is the 1:30 shift, I'm told.
I think that concept is very good. You get fresh linesmen all changing on the hour and a half, and they're going to do a better job. Plus, the players can't pick on one particular linesman for a whole match.
Actually, they're changing on the hour, but they're moving them around pretty good. New balls, 4-5. Connors was trailing here, 4-2 in the first set, is back on serve.
Love.
We'll see how Miloslav reacts in a difficult situation, and this is an important game for both players.
All.
I like that forehand approach. He was a big swoop. Connors thought it might go cross court.
Jimmy has been out of position many times this match. Hasn't even tried for some of these shots.
Now look right there. There's a great depth, Stan. That ball was 2 inches inside the baseline. But Connors didn't read it at all.
Oh, great
Another
shot.
winner. This crowd's starting to wake up to the fact that this 20-year-old could win the match.
He is a player. He looks fairly casual out there, but he can really hit some terrific, deep passing shots.
We're at deuce. Got to correct that. I said deuce. It is 40-15 to the server.
Oh,
Game Mecir.
And he's hit 3 consecutive winners to hold for 5-all. And you're seeing a new force on the tour coming into being.
Perfect position down the line. Not a very big backswing, but a good follow through.
Connors didn't move at all for that shot.
Jimmy has to have a feeling that he can win this match
15 love.
if he really puts his mind to it, but you also have the nagging feeling on the other side of your mind that says, you know, this guy maybe is a better player than everybody thinks.
It's always easy to underestimate a guy ranked in the 60s on the ATP computer, which is Miloslav's ranking, 61.
30 love.
It's a young man on the rise, though. He's going to show himself in many semifinals and finals this year and the years to come.
Sloppy
15.
miss hit there by Connors. He didn't have to make that shot so good. He missed it by about 3 inches.
Great shot.
Oh boy, he ripples another winner.
30 all.
He has to hit this backhand perfectly. He takes Jimmy out of court. Jimmy's going back towards the center of the court, and he rips it right back into the corner. Jimmy's only about a step away.
30 all. He was late. Connors kicked that second ball out wide, and Miloslav didn't move at all.
30.
He thought it was coming into the backhand.
It's a very effective serve. Jimmy doesn't normally hit a kicker for a second serve, but that time he got Miloslav off balance.
Ball called.
Does Philadelphia have a soccer team?
They did. I think it's moved franchises.
Game Connors.
And once again, Jimmy Connors with the slice left-handed forehand
6-5.
in the ad court hole serve. And we're going to slice our way down to that center court in a moment, where Barry McKay is setting up to interview Ronald Wolfgang, the president of eBell America. Barry McKay, come on in if you can hear me.
Okay, Donald, I'm with Ronald Wolfgang. Ronald, this was the U.S. Pro Indoor. Now all of a sudden it's the eBell U.S. Pro Indoor. What's happening?
Well, our involvement in tennis is becoming greater and greater, and it's becoming very successful. As you probably know, eBell is now involved with Davis Cup, with 3 European Grand Prix, and we feel that for North America, this is one of the premier events of the year, and felt that it offered an opportunity for us to put eBell on the map in North American Grand Prix tennis.
Well, Ron, it's a big improvement, obviously, to have all these activities here in Philadelphia. What about this tournament? Are you surprised when you looked out here today and saw this semifinal? Who is this kid from Czechoslovakia?
Well, we always like to see somebody coming out that's unexpected, challenging up there in the top of the matches. We're looking for a real exciting semifinal and final.
All right, thanks for being with us, Ron.
Thank you, Barry.
Jimmy Connors is not looking for any more excitement today. He wants to win this first set.
He'd like to see a boring match, wouldn't he?
He'd like to see a 6-2, 6-2 win, but that is not happening.
Oh, too much.
Love 15.
Both players hitting the ball on the run. Great tennis here. Good back baseline tennis.
You get the feeling Connors thinks he can win this match at any moment and is not sharp. That was a bad error on a pretty important point for Love 30 here at 5-6. Or 15-all instead.
It's a very fine line of that concentration that's required to win. Looks like Miloslav changed his mind here on this backhand down the line.
This high toss stand.
Fairly characteristic of the Czechs. Here you'll see him set up. Miloslav is going to hit a backhand. Good follow through. Back live, 15-30, important point here.
All. 30 all. Connor's missing another forehand cross court. That's 2 this game.
Jimmy would love to have $1 for every net court he's hit on that forehand side.
There's a good approach. If I were sitting at courtside coaching Connors, I'd be telling him to come in, come in. That gets him out of sort of a lethargic position. Barry McKay?
Well, you know what's interesting to me, Donald, is that he is kind of hanging back. I said before the match, whenever Jimmy plays somebody who's not in the top 10, he seems to take advantage and come in. He is not doing that out here, and this kid is hard to come in against. As Stan mentioned, he's got some really tough passing shots.
We're at set point. Second serve. Connors leaning in. And there he is. An error off the backhand side. A little nervous reaction there by Miloslav, and Connors has finally won the first set, 7 games to 5.
Please hold your seats, ladies and gentlemen, until the odd game changeover.
We'll see this position here that Miloslav is in. He's in good position.
Thank you.
He may have tried to hit it too close to the net. You're always a little nervous on set point. It's good to realize that no matter how good a player you are going to be a little bit nervous at set point.
Love.
First set is history, and it took about 59 minutes.
With that set in hand, Jimmy Connors might attack more this set.
Love.
You know, some people, Stan, watching would think Jimmy Connors is using this match as just sort of a good warm-up, hoping to get to the finals to play McEnroe, and it may look that way, but I think he was in trouble in the first set at 4-2. He wasn't playing very well, and he wasn't very confident.
No, I agree. He's a little lackadaisical, but he's giving 100% out there now. He was nervous, I think. He's unsure. When you haven't played a player before, you're really unsure of how to react to the shots. He's certainly having problems reading the shots coming off of Miloslav's racket.
Game Connors. First game, second set.
And so Connors starts out holding serve in the first game of the second set. And he leads 1-love here at the Spectrum at the Ebell Pro Championships. Back at the Spectrum. Second set, Connors has snuck out of the first set, 7-5. And the Czech has changed shirts. Wilander and Nystrom, the two Swedes, are sitting behind Barry McKay watching this match. Right at courtside. This has had an awfully good field all week long. The seeds here are John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors, 1 and 2. Mats Wilander, number 3, was upset earlier in the week. Number 4, Elliot Telcher, was beaten earlier in the week also. Yannick Noah, Joachim Nystrom, Jimmy Arias, and Kevin Curran. Curran withdrew. He was the 8th seed because of an injury.
30 low.
Miloslav has changed his shirt here. You always feel a little fresher when you have a dry shirt on. Great angle. Miloslav really likes to hit that angle. Watch him set up for this. He'll get good position here. Again, he hits it very short as well as sharp.
Over.
Mecir.
Mecir holds serve here at 1-all, second set.
1-all.
If you look down this draw stand, Mats Wilander, the 3rd seed, was beaten and upset after a bye. He lost really in his first match to Greg Holmes from Utah, the youngster who won the NCAA a few years ago, 6-4, 6-3. That was a big surprise.
Yeah, Greg Holmes has had a lot of talent and hasn't really played too well, but maybe this will be his year to come of age on the Pro Tour. Jimmy's there. We're seeing Mecir hitting very good angle shots. Looks like he might have Jimmy here, but Jimmy stretches to hit that forehand volley easily into the open court. Here we see Mats Wilander and Joachim Nystrom watching this match. They'll be playing doubles later.
And again, the rolling topspin cross court caught Connors going the wrong way. Look at that loop there. And Connors gets it back one time, and he wrong foots him again with a looper.
He's really having problems reading Miloslav's passing shots. It's amazing. Ooh. That was close.
15-30.
We'll see this very good approach shot. Miloslav bounces it as he should. And this overhead, I believe, was out.
Hard to tell on the replay because of the net in the way. Connors thought it was out. The far lines person, however, did not. That's Linda Furnish on that line. 15-30. Call will stand.
He's in again. Jimmy's throwing it up again.
He reads it perfectly. Oh, guesses and misses.
Jimmy has read every overhead hit so far. Jimmy's giving his opinion to that linesman again from the point before this. Double break point, 15-40.
First serve.
Second serve. 1-all. Second set.
Game Mecir. He leads 2-1.
And so, the Czech has broken serve early on here in the second set to lead 2-1. And Stan, that's a little bit of a surprise.
Well, Miloslav really hit some great shots that game. He took advantage with some very deep approach shots. And, of course, Jimmy was a little dissatisfied with that call on that one overhead.
Connor's asking about the overrule there of Zeno foul in the chair.
Referee.
Connors handled that one well that
Referee,
time. He went to
report
talk
to
to
chair.
Zeno in the chair very quietly to explain his opinion, which is his right. And Zeno has now asked for the referee. I'm not sure exactly why.
Barry McKay is there with the #1 Swede in the world, very popular Mats Wilander.
Mats, a lot of people felt you'd be out here playing today. What happened earlier with Greg Holmes?
I don't know. I thought Greg played a very good match, and I didn't play it too good, but I thought that Greg that day, he served good and he played some good, good forehands.
Mats, how about this Czechoslovakian youngster, Miloslav? What do you think he does very well?
Well, he has very good ground strokes, and he's got one of the best backhands, I think, in the game. And he's exactly the same age as me, so we played a lot of times in the juniors. And I mean, he's got a lot of touch, and he's a very good player.
It looks to me like he's able to angle the ball extremely well, a lot of leverage.
Yeah, he angles it and hits very flat sometimes with both forehand and backhand. And he plays quite fast, I think.
Mats, you still excited about that Davis Cup win over the U.S.?
I guess we're always going to be a little bit excited about beating America at home, I think.
All right, this year's going to be a little different because you're going to have to probably play indoors a bit more.
Yeah, last year we played a lot of matches in Sweden on slow surface, but this year probably going to be on fast surface.
All right, Mats, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Don.
Well, we had a little controversy there while that interview was going on, Barry. Jimmy Connors was asking the chair umpire, Zeno Fowl, to call out the tournament referee, who was Bob Howe, the Australian player. Howe was out there with the Grand Prix supervisor, and they were discussing a particular linesperson. And I think the question of overrule, we can only hear tidbits of it, but everything seems to have settled down. They've kept the person on the court, and Connors is trailing 2-1.
Just last week, Donald, we had a change in the rule for the upcoming years, stating that the players cannot ask for a linesman to be removed.
What's the reason for that, Stan?
Well, because they felt that it was not the right of a tennis player. As in other sports, a player can't go up to anybody and say, I don't want that referee out there, or an official. They just have to accept their calls. It's a little touchy to me because I think we don't have quite the caliber of linesman officials that we need for that particular situation, but that's the rule we have this year.
So it's really changed the history and background of it. A player can't suddenly ask for the umpire to come out, or the referee, and say, I don't like the service linesman, he's missed 6 balls. And then in the old rule, he would make a decision whether to leave him on the court or take him off. They can't do that under the rules anymore.
They can't request to have a linesman removed.
15-30.
It's a good thing the players can't request to have the television commentators removed. We'd never work a show.
They'd remove a lot of us, wouldn't they?
Yep. 2-1.
First serve.
The server has gotten back in this match. Miloslav Mecir, 20 years old, from Czechoslovakia. It's good.
Drop shot. It's out.
Jimmy knew the moment he hit that ball, it was going to slide wide. You could see his feet. He stopped running. He hit the underspin, and he just stopped.
30
Well,
off.
the ball was floating. You'll see this. The ball was sort of sliding off his racket instead of going straight, and it slid out.
A little disgusted is James Scott Connors.
It's great to hear Wilander's opinion of Miloslav, because they have played many times. He knows him as well as any player on the circuit. And when he says a guy has a great backhand, I got to really believe it.
Yeah, you listen.
Wilander has one of the best in the game.
40-30.
Another example of an angle here. Watch this wrong-footed forehand cross-court. Tremendous angle from the Czechoslovakian.
Deuce.
Miloslav rubbing his eyes. I think he felt that he might have been blinded slightly after his serve. Sometimes in different positions on the court when you're serving, the lights can shine right in your eyes.
Ace. Oh. That ball was inside the line. We're right above that center service linesman.
Advantage, Mecir.
Let's watch it right down the center of your screen. Perfect placement. I didn't think he could serve that hard a serve.
I didn't either. If he gets that serve going, he'll really be tough.
Great angle.
Also, Stan, from down here, when you look up, those lights that are the prize fight lights are right over the net. And I'm sure that's what happened when he looked up there. It's really bright, it's right over the net.
Very difficult indoors sometimes. Other than that, you can have absolutely ideal conditions when you play indoors. No wind, no sun, no rain.
Let cord.
Great shot.
Connors looked a little winded on that exchange. He was off balance when he missed that backhand.
Miloslav is really jerking Jimmy around. It's amazing to see Jimmy having to run so much, because he usually dictates the play, but he was off balance on that backhand. Great depth by the Czechoslovakian.
Game Mecir.
Not a bad little forehand. He got that on the rise perfectly. Slaps it down the line for a winner.
See, Jimmy is well in the court, hit the shot, but then he's a little bit off center here, and Jimmy can't get to another ball. I've never seen him be wrong-footed quite as much as this match.
And I think it's because he doesn't read the stroke production. It's the first time he's played this guy, and it's hard to read that topspin swoop.
Absolutely right.
15 love.
Donald and Stan, Wilander made an interesting point, too. This kid really can jerk the ball crisp cross court. Great angle. As we watch Connors here, really lean into that ball on that two-hander.
I think that's causing this wrong-footedness for Jimmy. He can't handle those cross courts as well as the down the lines.
Out.
30 love.
30 love to the server, Connors, who again has fallen behind in the second set by a service break. He trailed 4-2 the first set, snuck out of it at 7-5, and now is down 1-3.
Barry, if you can still hear me, do you think that Jimmy should try to attack that weak second serve of Miloslav's?
Definitely, Stan. That thing from down here is jumping up right at Jimmy's shoulders. He loves to lean in and hit both shots from there. I think he ought to be taking the second serve, moving him behind it, because once he gets in a rally, this kid really gives him a lot of trouble.
Game Connors.
Jimmy Connors holding serve, staying in it at 3-2.
3-2.
Second set.
3 games, Charlie.
And we're going down on courtside here to meet one of the really great people in tennis, former Grand Slam winner in 1938, J. Donald Budge. Barry?
Donald, this guy looks like he's got a pretty good two-hander. Did there many players in your era use that two hands on the backhand?
Well, not too many, Barry, but of course I started playing with the first one who ever did hit a two-handed backhand was Vivian McGrath of Australia, and then Bromwich came along and the other fellows, but he looks like his is a good shot. The only thing I've noticed is he closes the racket face a little bit, and I'll bet you more of his errors are going to be in the net because of that closed racket face.
Don, what about the two-handed shot? A lot of people ask whether that's a good idea. What, in your opinion, do you think it's a better shot, or would you rather see everybody be a little more orthodox and hit with one hand?
Well, I'm quite
Seats quickly, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Amazed at so many of the players that are using two-handers still, but because now that McEnroe is the best men player and Navratilova the best woman player, they're one-handers from the beginning, and I think it limits your reach. I know never once has a two-handed backhand been voted as the best backhand in the game, so I try to get the youngsters to stay away from the two-hander.
How about a guy named Fred Perry? He seems to be hanging around here today. I hope we'll get a chance to talk to him. Did you ever play against him?
I played against Fred. As a matter of fact, playing against Fred, I learned what the game was all about. I didn't know what it was about until I played Fred.
All right, Don. Thanks for being with us. Back to you, Donald.
Fred is only 2 chairs away from Don Budge. You know that Don's not going to say anything bad about him.
Fred Perry, of course, the 3-time Wimbledon winner from Great Britain in 36, 37, and 38. I should say 35. I'm sorry, Don Budge won Wimbledon in 1938. I don't want Barry McKay to correct me.
2 of the greatest players of all time.
Connors doesn't like the ball now. He's going to walk in and squeeze it because he can't understand how he missed that backhand to the center of the net.
He doesn't miss many of those easy backhands, that's for sure.
First set, some interesting statistics. No aces. There's Fred Perry, the great player from Great Britain.
Angle, just missed.
No aces in the first set by either server. 1 double fault by the Czech. 12 winners by the Czech. Not 1 outright winner by Connors in that first set. I find that hard to believe.
Unbelievable.
First serving percentage. There is Don Budge's wife and Fred Perry sitting side by side. Jimmy just asked, what's going on? And I was thinking the same thing.
So was I. That was an easy backhand approach shot. Jimmy's got to get his concentration level up higher.
First serve.
We'll talk to Fred Perry in the next changeover. It'll be interesting to see what he thinks about Don Budge's remarks.
Break point for Connors to get back even at 3-all. And he will try to climb on a second serve if he gets a chance.
When Miloslav hits that cross-court forehand angle, he hits it very low, so he can't hit the tape. It's not quite accurate enough.
Second ball.
Great shot, right on the line. No retort for that shot. Look at this backhand. He sets up nicely, as Wilander says, a great backhand. Very accurate, right on the sideline.
We're at deuce. Second set, center court at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The Bell US Pro Indoor Men's Semifinals. We're going to be bringing you the finals tomorrow, best of 5 on these same public service stations.
Great shot by Connors down the line.
And there may have been Jimmy's first winner of the match. Outright and clean cut.
I thought this was a good play by Miloslav. He comes in. Connors is off balance, but it's a tremendous forehand down the line. And Miloslav collapses his racket in appreciation of that great shot. Santana used to do that. He used to hit his hand against his racket as a form of applause for his opponent's shot.
Game Connors.
These championships
3-all.
will be brought to you on here in America by our public television stations, but around the world on a delayed basis. It'll be in France, Canada, Japan, Hong Kong, and Mexico. So we have a truly international lineup. We're bringing it to you live in Canada, I'm told, and we welcome them to this match.
Oh, another clean winner with a forehand. Jimmy's saying, what is this guy doing to me? Now he's set up nicely. Jimmy's way off court. Powders it. No chance for Jimmy to get to it. There's always been a great international media corps here in Philadelphia. Ever since I started playing here, they come from all over the world, and they really support this tournament.
Love 30.
One of the things I like about Miloslav is that he changes the pace of the shot. He doesn't overhit if he doesn't have to. He'll just block it back and then wait for his opening. John McEnroe is also very good at that tactic. Jimmy's got the opening. Let's see Jimmy come in with a very nice approach shot here with a forehand. Very well hit. He's in perfect position. Miloslav gets the ball but has no chance to hurt Jimmy.
Connors with an incredible record in 1984. Nearly $1 million in prize money. 69-12, not bad for a 32-year-old. Played in 18 Grand Prix tournaments.
It's a lot of tournaments for Jimmy to play in last year, wasn't it, Donald?
Sure was.
You think about Davis Cup and other exhibitions that he's playing as well?
He's 32 and he paces himself pretty well, but he played a big schedule last year.
That's more than he played when he was 26.
Second serve.
He's worked his way back from 3-1 down to 3-all as Connors serves from the far end. And I don't understand why he doesn't come in more. Here he comes. He's got to keep the pressure on young Czech, I think.
30-all.
It not only puts the pressure on the Czech, Miloslav Mecir, but it also makes him play better. If he's more aggressive, he plays better.
Here's his record, $53,000 won. He's 22-19 in matches, and he's played 19 tournaments last year. It's about 500, a little over 520, 530 player.
Here he comes. We'll see this shot here. Jimmy hits a very good approach shot. It's deep, but Miloslav gets it very early and gets it cross court before Jimmy can get close enough to the net.
A little unusual on a break point. He missed that spinner serve. That wasn't a tough serve.
I think he was expecting that wide backhand, and Jimmy wisely changed pace to the forehand. Here we see Jimmy taking his time. He knows this is an important game, the 7th game of the second set.
Advantage, Mecir.
Now this is a dangerous point for Connors. Mecir, having the service break point, lost a 3-1 lead just a moment ago and lost his serve. And boy, would he jump on Connors with a lot more confidence if he can win this point.
Jimmy will probably serve it wide backhand. See, just like I said. Angle. Here comes Jimmy. He's there. Oh!
He's not only there, but he looked like John McEnroe in tight with a little drop volley. Connors a darn good volleyer. He doesn't come in quite enough, in my opinion.
This is a miss hit, which gives Jimmy an opportunity to come in, and he plays a little coy shot here to Jimmy's backhand, but Jimmy hits an unbelievable cross-court drop shot. Miloslav was going for it, but he just had to smile. No chance.
Advantage, Mecir.
Connors very angry with that error. He's now down another break point.
Well, he served to the forehand the last 2 break points. I think that the backhand is a stronger shot of Miloslav, but that wide serve is also very effective. Angle.
Game, Mecir.
So Connors surprisingly has made that forehand looper on an error.
Mecir leads.
And Mecir now is in charge. 4-3 Stan Smith. He's got the break. It's a big position for him. It really is. And before you answer that, we're going to go down and ask Fred Perry, the Wimbledon champion 3 times running from England, what he thinks of this match. Barry McKay?
Fred, I asked Don what he remembers about your game. How about you? What do you remember about J. Donald Budge?
Just about the 17-ounce racket and the way he used to run across with that backhand. He just dropped the racket on the ball and it flew past you about 100 miles an hour. You know, you had to try to keep him moving all the time.
You know, you were one of the great ones, and you got to think every once in a while, how do you feel you would do at your very best against the 3 top guys today, Connors, McEnroe, and Lendl? Be honest.
It's something you'll never know. I mean, in the first place, I ask you, Barry, which rules are you going to play under? The ones we used to play under, which were quite different, or their rules? But I think I'm a great believer that champions in any era, in any sport, are champions because he or she had something, that little extra something the others didn't have, and they would have had it at any time. All I can tell you, I can't say whether we would have beaten them or they would have beaten us. You'll never know. But I'll guarantee you one thing, they'd known they were in one heck of a tennis match. That's for sure.
Fred, do you ever wish you could come back and compete in this day and age with all this prize money?
Well, if I were able to play as well and enjoy the position I used to enjoy and know what I know now up here, yes. Other than that, forget it.
All right, Fred, thanks for being with us. Back to you, Donald.
Well, right here on the court, Miloslav really has an opportunity here to even the match. 4-3, he's got the break.
Donald, I was going to say that when you play against somebody that has a big serve, you tend to serve harder. When you play against somebody that has a great angle shot, you tend to try to hit more angles than you really should. And Jimmy doesn't hit the angle shot as well as Miloslav, and that might get him in trouble.
Why is that, Stan? I think that's natural, but why?
Well, you just try to beat the other guy at with his own weapons, I think.
That let court hurt Jimmy. The ball sat up.
15-all.
Mecir really nailed it. Be an interesting match if he holds serve right here for 5-3.
Great serve. A little more speed on that serve than normal.
30-15.
If Miloslav improves that first serve, and particularly the second serve, he's really going to be tough out here against the top players.
$40-15.
Now Jimmy will move in on this return of serve, take it about a yard inside the baseline, but he doesn't attack after he hits it. He just hits it back and then gets into the rally.
Game Mecir, new balls.
Well, he's gotten it. He's held serve for 5-3, and now we're going to hear and see what Jimmy Connors is all about.
Mecir leads 5-3.
He trails 3-5. Second set, he has the first set in a tough one, 7-5.
Well, Donald, I hope we see it instead of hear what he's all about out there.
He holds up new balls.
Great serve.
Notice where he is, Stan Smith, at the net.
15 love.
He's got to do this more. He takes advantage of a very good serve, and he's in perfect position to hit this forehand volley. I think today, especially the last 10 years, the younger players have less respect for the older, more experienced players.
That's the way I feel about you, Stan, talking to me. You couldn't have said it better. No, that is true. The computer, the worldwide circuit has really equalized the game, and it's based on your last performance. That's where it comes from.
He's jerking Jimmy around badly here. Oh!
Although I do think that many of the players that we're playing against a Borg or a Connors have a lot of respect for what they've done in the sport and the titles they've won.
Oh, certainly a player like that, when they win the big ones like that, the players really respect them. But when they go out there, they think they can win. Oh.
That ball hit right on the line and skidded. That's why Jimmy missed that ball. 30-all, 3-5. Second set.
Yeah, that ball really got away from Jimmy.
$40-30.
Jimmy Connors, second ball, trailing 3-5.
Game Connors.
But he does manage to hold, and now he is only down 4-5. Second set.
Mecir leads 5-4.
And Stan Smith, he's got a break serve now, or he's into a third set.
We're seeing some great tennis here by Miloslav. He really can play the game. And he's hitting so many great angles that Jimmy has been wrong-footed probably 15 times during this match.
What do you think is the reason that Connors, Stan, can't read the ground strokes so well of the Czech? Is it that he hasn't played him much before, or is it really the stroke production?
Well, I think it's because he hasn't played him much before. That's one thing. Plus, Miloslav takes the ball very early, particularly on the backhand. And on the forehand, he hits it with an open stance in many cases. And so he can hit that thing off with a forehand like this, or he can hit a very sharp angle as well with a forehand.
Well, tell us a little bit about Stan Smith. I was reading the record book, and I should have said at the beginning, you won this tournament in 1973. It's rare that we have a winner up here.
Speak quickly, please.
What are your plans in 1985?
Well, Donald, I'm going to play a lot of the Grand Champions tournaments. I'll play another Grand Prix tournament. I'm involved in many exhibitions, and I'm actually more busy now than I ever have been in tennis.
Okay. We're going back to courtside, and we're going to watch and see if the Czech, Miloslav Mecir, can hold serve at 5-4. Barry McKay, who do you like this game?
I like the Czech, Donald. He seems very relaxed. He doesn't seem to be bothered at all. And the one thing he's doing extremely well from where I'm sitting is changing his pace and continuing to hit those short angle shots. He's got great control. I think he can win this game. I'm usually the kiss of death, however.
I was going to say, for his sake, I'm sorry I asked, but we shall see.
Well, Barry's not hitting the shots for him. He's got to produce here, and the crunch is on.
Connors, I think, thought that ball was a fault.
15 love.
Linda Furnish did not.
Well, he certainly didn't go at that ball 100%. Maybe hoping.
I don't know whether it hit the line and skidded by him or whether he thought it was a fault. It's a big start for the Czech. 15 love.
He's coming in. Another high lob.
Love.
Now Connor's going to slow it down a bit. Ties his shoelace. 30 love. 2 points from the set for this fellow right here. New to your screens, Miloslav Mecir. And that was a little conservative shot, not hit too hard. Connor says, well, I'll try and tie my other shoelace. Maybe that'd bring me some more luck.
The old shoelace trick. 32 years old, he knows all the tricks in the book, and he's also got all the shots in the book. Change of pace. Ooh. Jimmy ripped that forehand, and he wanted to end the point. And fortunately for him, it did end the point.
And there it is, game and second set. On a good slice serve, he is held for 6 games to 4. And the Czech is vindicated, Barry McKay.
Please hold your seat.
But that was an awfully good first serve on set point.
Thank you.
Let's see it again.
We're going to see this slice serve. It's a very effective serve. I think he's serving much better this second set, don't you, Barry?
Definitely, Stan. You know, he doesn't have a big flat serve, but he really mixes it up, and he uses that leverage to get that great angle all the time.
Love 15.
He not only is able to do it on the ground strokes, he's now starting to really hit that ball short and wide on the serve. For a right-hander, he pulls Connors out pretty far. We've talked about the left-handed serve, but he's got a good one into that deuce court.
Love 15, first point of the final set.
Well, Arthur Ashe used that serve very effectively against Jimmy Connors in the Wimbledon final back in, what was it, 75, Donald?
1975.
He also changed up the pace, as Miloslav is doing here. I don't put him in the category of Arthur Ashe, but he's quite a talented player.
He sprays that backhand there. I just would love to be coaching Jimmy Connors, Stan, you know, and say to him, come on in on every shot and see if it would make a difference, because he's been hanging back. He's been trying to sort of groove his ground strokes. And really, he's been out-dueled from the baseline. He was lucky to get out of the first set at 4-2.
He has been out-dueled. He's been out-angled for sure. hit the line. Unbelievable angle from that forehand of the Czechoslovakian. We'll see this one again. Jimmy pulls him wide on an angle, but he returns the favor with an unbelievable short angle. Connors is in a dogfight here, folks, and I think that he knows it.
He looks suddenly very, very more serious.
He's taking his time.
Stan, what goes through a veteran's mind when he's at 1-all here in sets and he's playing a youngster?
Well, I think that he knows he can win the match. He's got to raise his concentration level up so he doesn't make any of those careless errors. He's done that quite a few times in the second set. He's hit the ball short and allowed Miloslav to hit the angle on it.
Game Connors, first game.
So Connors bears down and he holds the opening game of the final set. And this could be a very interesting set if Mecir can get right into it at the start and not drop behind.
The fans are really enjoying the tennis here at the Spectrum. I don't think they realize it would be such a great competitive match. They've seen a lot of good tennis here in Philadelphia over the years, with the 24 years of the tournament's history.
Next week, on many of these same public television stations, we'll be bringing you the U.S. National Indoors from Memphis Racket Club, the house that Billy Donovan built down there in Memphis, Tennessee. And with that tournament, we've got a cast of characters, very strong field. Jimmy Connors will be down there defending his championship. Yannick Noah's playing. Mats Wilander, Anders Jared, Aaron Krickstein, the youngster. We've got an awfully good field. And we hope you'll join us on many of these same stations next Saturday and Sunday. Check your local listings for the U.S. National Indoor Tennis Championships at the Memphis Racket Club.
Okay, here we have Carol Dell, the pretty blonde. Right behind her on the shoulder is Marilyn Fernberger, the tournament director, with her husband Ed. And I'm the godfather of one of these girls. It's either Christina or Alexandra Dell. Her twin is sitting right next to her. The Dell family is a familiar family here in the tennis world. The girls are much prettier than the male counterpart.
They look like their mother, thank heavens.
I second that.
Now Connors is starting to attack and get a little more aggressive.
Love 15.
What I loved about that, Stan Smith couldn't tell the twins apart.
They are
I'm
identical,
gonna tell
I'll tell you. I can really tell when I get up close sometimes.
Uh-oh, Connors sprays that forehand.
15 all.
He's had a lot of unforced errors on that side. The first set, he had 24 unforced errors. Stan Smith, we were wondering where you're going to be next weekend. We had hoped you'd be in Memphis. What's up?
Well, I'd like to join you in Memphis, but there are two things that are be taking my time. First of all, I'm playing in the Crosby Pro-Am, that little golf tournament there on Pebble Beach.
My God.
And then my good friend Tommy Gorman is getting married on the 2nd, Saturday night, and he's asked me to be his best man, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Tommy Gorman.
Great running.
There Connors with the good stretch there on the dead run. He nailed that backhand volley. This crowd is appreciating this rally.
Here we go. Jimmy really jerks Miloslav around on this point. But look at the movement here. I didn't believe this fella could run this well, but he moves well, he stretches and gets the ball over the net. Jimmy still has to hit another ball to win the point. Great athletic performance here. Oh, another winner. Miloslav has a good, or maybe a great backhand, but this forehand is not too shabby either.
Connors lets that ball go by. He couldn't get it.
Very tough to read off that forehand.
I wonder if he's getting a little tired. I don't think so, but not sure.
He is moving a great deal out here.
And again, Miloslav plays behind him, wrong foots Connors, and we're at 1-all. I like the way he sneaks in here.
Yeah, he really does sneak in here, and it's a wrong foot play. The Europeans like to use this play, particularly on clay, but it's also, as we can see, very effective on this fast court.
Love 15.
Let cord goes sailing wide.
One set all, one game all, love 15. We've got a good match here.
Love 30.
Winner of this match goes tomorrow in the finals, best of 5 here, against the winner of John McEnroe and Scott Davis, who play tonight. Want to come see a good match? Get a ticket and fly on in here to Philadelphia. Play at 7:30, and then the doubles to follow. Now, Connors has really lost his concentration this game.
Love 40.
Connors may have been thinking about that match tomorrow when he walked on the court, but I guarantee he's not talking about or thinking about it now.
3 break points. Love 40. Just missed by about 2 inches.
15-40.
15-40. Connors saves the first break point.
If that had been on the line, I don't know if Connors could have reached it or not. Mr. Angle over there in the blue shirt from Czechoslovakia, Miloslav Mecir.
Game Mecir.
And Connors sprays that forehand by 10 feet over the baseline. He's lost his serve.
He leads 2-1.
And he is very unhappy because now he knows that hill is getting higher. And it's a higher and longer climb. Stan Smith, when you're discouraged, when you're a little down, as I'm sure Connors is right now, he's thinking, God, how can I lose this 20-year-old? I'm tired, a little bit out of wind. I don't read his shots very well, but I'm a much better player. How do you goose yourself up?
When I get in that situation, I think of that first point of the next game. I try to win that first point and really give it 100% concentration. And then, of course, you just go from there. But that first point is very crucial. And if you can get him down, Miloslav down, love 30, then he'll start thinking about it. But Jimmy has to strike back here as quickly as possible. Otherwise, Miloslav is going to gain tremendous confidence.
He can hold a couple times in a row and get to 4-2. Then the pressure really is enormous on Connors.
Well, he's pulling out some big serves as well, and that's got to worry Jimmy slightly because the first set, he didn't have any trouble at all with Miloslav's serve. But now Miloslav is throwing some angles and putting a little more power into that serve.
In the second set, on the statistics, Miloslav had 1 ace and 1 double fault. Connors had no aces and no double faults. Miloslav also hit 7 winners. Connors 2. First serves were 78% to Connors, 62% to Miloslav. That's an interesting difference.
Jimmy's coming in. He's got the volley on his racket.
Connors has come net now 12 times in the match and won.
15.
Excuse me, he's come in 18 times and he's won 12 out of the 18 points at net. 2/3.
Boy, Connors was in perfect position for that forehand volley. I agree with you, Donald. He has to take that approach shot and come in, even if he does get passed occasionally.
Love 30.
This is the position he wanted.
On the line, that ball skidded.
Love 40.
And Mecir knew that. He knew it was good from the bounce. It hits a tape line here on these indoor Supreme Courts. Occasionally it really skids. And he knew it. Love 40.
Angle.
Boy, that's a good approach shot. He whacks the forehand. Connors made a short return off the serve.
15-40.
This is a good thing to watch. It's sort of a half approach, half winner sort of shot. He doesn't hit it as hard as he can, but he hits it with good angle and good direction, and it turned out to be a winner. Oh.
13-40.
Miloslav just knocked the ball back just past the service line. Jimmy had all sorts of shots to hit, and he chose the wrong one at the top of the tape. Another angle. Good depth. Unlucky.
Connors looks like a gunslinger there with the twirling of his racket, but he's not happy with his play. That let cord boomerang wide. He had a break point, and he understands very well that he needs a break of serve quickly before the Czech gets confident. We're at deuce. This match nearly 2 hours old. We'll be staying with you right to completion. We're doing it live on the public television stations in America.
Boy, 3 break points here. Love 40, now it's deuce.
From the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
Jimmy's coming in with this one.
That's a smart play. Forced the issue, kept the ball deep, and came in. Got to do that more and more. In particular, Stan, you know, he's got to do that if he's going to beat McEnroe, if they play in the final.
I don't think he's thinking about John right now, but you're absolutely right. He's got to come in. That down-the-line approach shot with a backhand is a shot to come in on. Jimmy hits the ball so flat that he doesn't get many of those let cords like a player like Bilander or even here like Miloslav, Mecir, because the ball doesn't spin up as it hits the net. It just kind of hits it and stops.
Connors slaps the forehand and the crowd reacts. He gets to break point again. And we're in the men's semifinals here at the U.S. Pro
Advantage Connors.
Indoor Championships. And Connors there really goes for the shot. He is struggling. We're in the third set. He's down a break, 2-1. But he now has a chance to get even.
Great playing by Connors. He hit 3 very good shots at that point.
Deuce.
Unforced error. It wasn't a particularly great serve. Jimmy's upset about that one. That was the 4th break point for Jimmy Connors. Here he comes. No, didn't come in that time.
Connors trying to pump himself up now.
Advantage, Monsieur.
Doesn't want this game to slip away.
Boy, the tennis is getting very good now. I tell you, that was great points on both sides of the net. Miloslav is up to every shot that Jimmy's hitting.
Game Mecir.
And the Czech holds after being down 2 break points. He's alive.
Mecir leads 3-1.
Donald and Stan, Fred Perry just leaned over to me and said, this kid keeps the ball on the racket a long time, and he really does. It's kind of hard to describe that, but his control is remarkable. He's got a lot of touch, and that ball stays on there. He controls it extremely well.
Miloslav does have a lot of feel for the ball. He doesn't overhit the ball unless he's going for a big shot. Very smart player.
And Connors at the net.
$15 love.
Even if Miloslav passes Jimmy occasionally, Jimmy's got to put pressure on him to make him hit a great passing shot.
Miloslav was the Czech national champion in a closed event in 1983. And he missed that angle.
30 love.
Great depth. What a forehand down the line. Watch this setup here. He's got Jimmy behind the baseline, which is important. Again, deep. And now he sets up for this forehand winner. Too much.
30 all.
30 all. Connors making an uncharacteristic error off the backhand there. I want to thank our statistician, Sandy Janelius, today for her help. We're 30 all.
Jimmy is a great competitor, but I don't like his chances at 4-1 in the third if he loses this game.
30 all.
14-30.
Connors hanging in there, 40-30. Uh-oh, double fault. Slid it in way long.
Lapse of concentration, frustration. Jimmy showing it all. He's taking his time now. He's got to bear down.
Advantage, Mecir.
Jimmy hit a very good deep approach shot to Mecir's backhand and backhand winner down the line by Mecir. Took the ball very early.
Biggest point of the match right here.
Game Mecir.
And Connors mishits that ball, and it sprays wide, and he's now down 2 service breaks here in the final set. 1-4. And here we are at the Ebel U.S. Pro Championships semifinals.
National Indoor from Memphis.
And so the Czech star, the youngster, leading 4-1 here in the final set, trying to serve out the match. He's got 2 breaks. Let's see if the champion can dig in. Misses that forehand again, an unforced error on the forehand side.
15 love.
And this would be the biggest win of Miloslav's entire career, Stan.
It certainly would, and he is looking very confident out there right now. I don't see any chinks in the armor at this moment.
He's runner-up this year, put in 84, Palermo and Cologne.
He was runner-up at Palermo. He played a great tournament, got to the finals, and played very poorly in the finals. But obviously here he's competing extremely well.
15-all, 4-1, final set.
He's got to keep the same pattern of play going here. He can't change his pattern. There's an angle by Jimmy Connors.
15-30.
The great champions come through when it counts, and Jimmy's got to prove it here again.
Nothing like sport. You have to prove it each time. That's the great equalizer of it, the challenge of it. Nobody gives you anything. It's up to your instincts and your heart. And there are 3 errors into the net by the Czech, and he's obviously nervous. I'm nervous watching him.
He knows this is the biggest opportunity of his career up to this point.
15-40, 1-4, Connors trailing.
First serve. Game Connors.
And Connors steals 1 break back on 4 errors into the net. We'd love to have held serve that time around and been 3-all right now.
When players get nervous, their muscles get tight, and they tend to hit shorter. And that's exactly what's happening over there with Miloslav. He's got to hit out a bit more now.
He hit out there with a good angle. Really jerking Connors wide.
Love 15.
Mr. Angle. I don't think Jimmy's been out angled like this ever before. Maybe Bjorn Borg did it to him once, but
how early,
this is incredible.
Look how early he caught that ball stand to get it over there. That two-hander way out front, 2 feet.
That's the key to keeping Jimmy off balance. He's hitting the ball early.
15 all.
He missed one, Jimmy said. I think he had Jimmy wrong-footed again, but he missed it by about 2 feet. Oh.
And Connors may sneak back in here in this match.
40-15.
He certainly has done it 100 times before in his career. 40-15. He can get to 4-3 with this point.
Game Connors.
And another netted return there by Miloslav. So Connors very much alive now at 4-3. Has salvaged 1 break of service back. Barry McKay, I am not going to ask you who you like, but Connors is still hanging alive.
Well, he is, Donald, but it's interesting to me that he's starting to play a little more aggressively. Before, he was hanging back. Now he's sort of taking that return to serve, moving into the ball, and as you and Stan said, that's what he really has to do. And I think Jimmy's a little more nervous than he's letting on out there. He does not like the position he's in, and I think he's playing a little bit differently than sometimes we see him. He's not quite as aggressive. He's kind of having to force himself to be aggressive, which is a little unusual for him, don't you think, Stan?
I really agree with you, Barry. He's really being a bit tentative on his shots. He seems awfully nervous on those. I'm getting nervous myself. He seems awfully nervous about those returns of serve. He's spraying some forehands, and he's going to have to really bear down in this last part of the match.
And the check is up first and out, and we're at the moment of truth here in the final set. 4-3. Connors is getting a good hand here, coming out second. So there are over 10,000 people here today in the Spectrum.
Well, you know, Rocky fought that big fight here, and I think that Miloslav has got the big fight right now, and he's the underdog, the big underdog, and I don't think Connors wants any more of him.
So 4-3 final set. Semifinal action from the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Mecir serving. Looking very, very subdued. But that's the way he concentrates. He really spun that ball in. He shoveled that one in. Connors missed it.
15 love.
It's an easy air here. It's a nice deep second serve with a lot of spin. Rare near the line. Connors misses. Pretty easy shot there.
That is Nervous City. He is really, really tight. That looked like me on a second serve 15 years ago.
Well, in an interview yesterday, he said, you know, I'm not used to playing against big players like Connors and McEnroe and Lendl. And so he didn't expect to win, and now he's thinking about it.
He He really is worrying, how do I close out this match? Let's see the second serve. 15-all. Connors moving around. He shovels it in with a high spin.
Oh, good shot. He's in. He's got the volley.
So Stan, if you're going to rally with this guy on the baseline, I'd keep it on his forehand side a little more. That backhand really hurt Connors.
Well, this forehand here is the one that really put Connors in trouble. And he comes in behind it. He's got an easy volley.
30-15. 4-3. The Czech serving. Final set.
Very deep. Jimmy's got a chance to open the court up, and he does. The position here was this great deep backhand that Jimmy hit. Miloslav hit a short ball, and Jimmy took his choice and proved very successful. Boy, every point here is very important. Miloslav is getting nervous. Connors is hitting out more.
30-all.
Great shot. Trouble.
And there's no question the nerves are killing him. He's never been in a position like this, and that was not a tough lob. That ball's short. Watch it.
30-40.
Opens the court up here beautifully. Connors runs it down, hits that lob. He's way out of court. A little short, and look where he hits it, Stan, on the upswing. He misjudged it or something.
Well, he couldn't get his elbow back quite soon enough and hit the ball in the early part of his frame, the close part of the frame. Didn't meet the ball soon enough.
Doesn't like that call at all.
Definitely out. Definitely out. You saw that one and you don't see this one.
Deuce.
Connors in frustration. It's hard to know whether that ball was good or not.
Chair umpire Zeno Foul yelling, definitely out.
This is definitely one you can't overrule because it's so close and it's so far away from the chair umpire.
Awfully close. Maybe looked a little on the wide side or on the edge. How can you tell?
You can't from the chair, that's for sure.
Wouldn't he better from the chair just to say, I can't overrule, it's too close? Because that's the purpose of the rule.
I think you're right.
We're at deuce. Connors hits that forehand wide. He has made a lot of errors on the forehand side throughout the 3 sets of this match.
I think Barry was right. Jimmy is more nervous than he's letting on, and they're both being very tentative, hitting the ball in the center of the court, and Jimmy just pushed that one. He didn't really hit that one.
Connors got into the court there, into the net, had the drop volley, and really misplayed it. And Jimmy knows it. He just mishit it.
We'll see a very smart shot by Mecir here. He hits it low in cross court. Jimmy has to either hit a drop shot or a deep volley, and it's not an easy shot. Jimmy's much better off the backhand volley hitting that shot than he is off the forehand volley.
And now 3-5 Connors, 4-time winner here. On the ropes against a 20-year-old newcomer from Czechoslovakia, Miloslav Mecir.
Good movement. Good shot. Miloslav is moving like a dream out there. He's getting to every ball. Connors is moving him around quite a bit, wrong-footing him. But what a terrific cross-court backhand, well in.
Love 15.
Mecir is fit as a horse. He's not getting tired. He's getting to every ball.
Jimmy pumped up now.
Yeah, he's pumped up like crazy, and Jimmy might be a little bit behind. Great shot.
And Connors dumps in that low forehand volley with a good
15
shot.
all.
Here he comes.
Now it's a great cross-court backhand again, but Connors is on top of this one this time.
It's the very one he just missed, Dan, that we saw a moment ago.
Almost a carbon copy. It's really quiet here at the Spectrum.
Can't make a better shot on a bigger point than that little half volley, drop volley rather. Boy, that's a good shot.
We'll see Connors come in with a terrific approach, but a terrific backhand passing shot attempt. Connors, as I said, is very good with that backhand volley, and very good sportsmanship there by young Czech.
He applauded him with his racket, as you saw on the screen. 30-15, Connors trailing 3-5, final set.
Connors should have been in that time. He's coming in now.
Oh. He misses that half volley. It stays on the tape.
Connors hits this great approach shot, but stays back. Almost as equally as good a approach shot, but then right on the top of the tape. Jimmy hit it well. Miloslav is now taking his time. He's moving very well out there, getting to every ball that Connors is hitting.
30 all. 2 points from defeat is the server.
He's got it again. What a point.
And there is why Jimmy Connors is still 1 or 2 in the world at 32 years of age. Take your pick.
We'll see this again. Jimmy hitting a tremendous skyhook of his. Miloslav has got it. Jimmy has hit another ball.
Look at that angle.
Great hustle on both sides in that. This is heavyweight stuff. Punching and counter-punching.
40-30. Connors serving. Taking a lot of time.
This is about a 10 bouncer. Well, you know that Connors respects Mecir's passing shots because he's pulling his shots a little bit too wide, afraid to hit that next volley.
Really overhit that approach.
5, please.
Or deuce.
Connors is in.
And the Czech hits a beautiful passing shot, catching it perfectly timed. He likes to cross court, but he went down the line on this one.
Advantage, Mecir.
And we're in match point for the man in blue. Biggest win of his career if he can get this point. Connors taking plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Connors is in.
Game, set, and match, Mecir.
And Mecir has won it by the incredible scores of 5-7, 6-4, 6-3, and he's into the finals. Right there you see a very happy but stoic looking Miloslav Mecir. And that was a real shock to everybody here in the Spectrum, I'm sure, as many felt Connors would roll over him in straight sets. The crowd at the Spectrum giving a tremendous round of applause, and we're going down to Barry McKay.
What point did you think you had this match won?
I don't know, the last one.
The last point, huh? Yeah. How about you started a little bit slow, and then it looked to me like you got into the match in the second set. Did you feel more comfortable?
Yeah, I felt, yeah. I don't know, first set I didn't know what to do. He was playing well and he was running fast. Maybe he got tired a little bit in the second.
Miloslav, it looked to me like you're very comfortable on the baseline, and yet you're tall. Do you ever think about coming into volley?
Sometimes, but against these players, now everybody knows pass. Very good.
When you started this week, did you ever think that you'd be standing here ready to go into the finals of this tournament?
No, really not.
What goes through your mind when you go out there to play a guy like Jimmy Connors?
I mean, I was more nervous yesterday than today because I wanted to play Jimmy. It was my dream, and I felt well before the match.
It looked to me like a couple times there at 4-1 in that last set that you were saying to yourself, come on, I just got to hang in here. Did you feel any nerves coming on when you realized you had a chance to win?
Just a little. After I hit few winners, it was back again. Confidence.
Miloslav, you're in the finals of the U.S. Pro Indoor to play against either Scott Davis or John McEnroe. If McEnroe wins, what are your thoughts about playing against John McEnroe?
I don't know. I will see.
All right, Miloslav, I know you're excited. Thanks again, and congratulations.
Welcome.
All right. That's Miloslav. Back to you, Donald.
Well, Barry McKay, he certainly is excited, and the crowd